Good, bright and beautiful morning. How are you doing today? So today, we are going to address all the people who keep telling me that they want a bird now. Yesterday I had BeanDip at a park and she was interacting with kids and one of the moms goes, "Oh my gosh, I need one." And I'm sure you've seen all of the videos that say something to the effect of why you shouldn't have a bird. And they mention things like why they're so loud and how they take a ton of attention and they live forever. And we're going to talk about that too. But I want to talk about the little stuff. The little reasons that BeanDip is the most annoying pet. Let's get into it. So I woke up this morning, got to sleep in a little bit. Usually I work at 5 a.m. so I'm up before the sun. But this morning, the sun beat me. This is a problem because our friend BeanDip is used to getting up with the sun. So she was screaming to be transferred from her sleep cage to her daytime cage because the sun was up. So I slept in until 6 a.m. when the sun came up, and my little alarm clock began to go off. Now I did let her out and kind of went back to sleep. But yeah, that is thing number one. They get up when they get up. And they might ask you for some attention or some let them out of their sleep cage, uncover it if you're somebody who covers it. Good morning. So like I said, I kind of went back to sleep for a little bit. Well, while I was back asleep, BeanDip wandered around my house. If you don't know, I live in a car, and destroyed things. Now I could have locked her up, but I tend to give her freedom whenever I'm home. And so she tried to poke holes in all the veggies and fruit bags that I have. She tried to get into the pasta. She likes to shred paper. So sometimes she'll shred a book, usually while I'm reading, but little destructo monster. Oh, little fat destructo. It's chilly. She's puffy. But yeah. So thing number two, they wander around and get into stuff, and you have to be so careful what you have around for them to get into. I've had BeanDip for a while, and so I'm super careful. She cannot get to my shoes because we don't want her to get any diseases from the bottom of my shoes. She can't get to anything that my shoes might have touched. She can't get to a lot of the, like any of the food that might harm her. I have that locked in a box. But you can't lock up everything. So, you know, they try to get into stuff. BeanDip needs a ton of attention. And that's why I bring her just about everywhere. She's on hikes with me because I like to hike and I don't have the time in the day to hike without the bird. She sits on my books while I read and tears them up. Let's see. She gets into absolutely everything. All my friends know her. If I've ever spent any time at your house, 2 hours at your house, you've met my bird. So BeanDip is extremely, good flight. BeanDip is extremely attention heavy. And I want to emphasize, like, more than a dog. Maybe not more than every dog, but differently than dogs. People are used to dogs. Leash training and recall training for dogs is pretty standard, so most people do it. Are you coming, dude? And not a lot of people recall train their birds. Also, birds are little. Many of you have mentioned that a hawk could eat her. They could. So she's a lot more, I need to be a lot more focused on her than, say, like a German Shepherd when I have her out. She's stealable because she's little. So I have to pay that kind of attention to her. And lastly, she would be in the wild in a flock of 15 to 20 other birds. She would always have a friend around. And I have her alone because when I got her, she was alone. And every time she has interacted with a reflection or come near another bird, she's gotten very aggressive, so I don't have another one. But because of that, I am making up for 20 birds in a way that I could not possibly do. But I try, and I try to give her as much attention as I possibly can. We interrupt this broadcast to talk briefly about the fact that this channel doesn't actually net me any money. However, I do have a Patreon. It's only $2 a month. Over there, I post trick training tutorials, such as fetch and recall training, which is the come command. And I'm continuing to post over there. You should definitely go subscribe. Additionally, I have a Redbubble store. On my Redbubble store, I have bird stickers, like stickers of BeanDip, including the Dino Dip sticker. And I have photography, unique photography from Alaska, Colorado, and Wyoming. So it's definitely worth looking into. All of that is going to be linked in the description. Finally, if you didn't catch last week's video on the evolution of birds from dinosaurs, or the evolution of dinosaurs, go check that out. I'm super proud of it. It was really well researched, and I'd really like for you to see it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let's get back to it. Partners and friends. So I mentioned everyone who knows BeanDip or who knows me knows BeanDip. BeanDip is actually very people friendly. She likes everyone better than me. Everyone else is more interesting. So we're kind of okay with that. You see her? But your bird might not be like that. And one of the largest reasons that BeanDip is like that is because living in a car and bopping around, and I always have her out in public, people get to meet her a lot. And a lot of people don't have that lifestyle, so they might not have a bird that's that nice. And birds can be one-person animals. They can prefer one person over everyone else and attack other people. In fact, one of the things I've seen with BeanDip is that sometimes she gets a little spicy and she thinks my partner is her partner. And then she only wants to be on him. She doesn't want to be on me, which is probably the best outcome of that. Because alternatively, what we could be seeing is we could be seeing her guarding the one person that she wants as hers from everyone else. And that could be me, it could be my partner, it could be one of my friends. And your bird might do that and might keep your friends away from you. Food. This one's my fault. This one's 100% my fault. I cannot have food out around BeanDip. And that's a problem because, like I said earlier, we try to spend as much time as we can together. But dude, she discovered that she could steal my food, my partner's food, my friend's food, some stranger's food. And oh my gosh, is it a problem. If there's a chip bag, she'll crawl into it. She'll crawl up your arm to steal something that's in your hand. She'll hang off of whatever food you try to take from her. I've seen her steal things out of my partner's mouth. This is my fault because at some point, I must have let her have some human food and she discovered that stuff's good. So yeah, this is a really annoying thing that BeanDip does. And we have to put her away at mealtimes because otherwise she will steal your food. She'll steal the best pieces. She'll steal all of it. And we don't want her to get fatty liver disease or just fat in general. She's kind of fat as it is. So BeanDip steals food. And I'm not saying your parrot will do that. In fact, I'm hoping that you'll do a better job of not ever letting your parrot have human food. But you know, sometimes at some point you're like, hey, you want a potato chip? Oh, they like that. How cute. Oh. Oops. Yeah. So BeanDip steals food. And it is so annoying. Dogs don't do it like this. Dogs don't crawl into your mouth to take the food out of the back of your throat. All right, let's do a quick obligatory. BeanDip is loud. I know, a parrot, it's loud, but I don't think you understand because this is a quiet species. That just means she can't quite scream as loud as a macaw, but everyone I've ever stayed with who has endured BeanDip screaming because she wants out while I'm at work knows that BeanDip is loud and she doesn't shut up. Now, I won't take her out unless she's quiet for a few minutes, just to kind of encourage that we don't come out because we're loud, we come out because we're quiet. But this has not been a problem in a while. But a long time ago when I was staying with my mom and I left BeanDip in her cage, there was one day my sister's boyfriend worked nights, so he needed to sleep during the day. But BeanDip could hear them moving around and she wanted to come out and be part of it. So she screamed all day. They put her behind a closed door. She continued to scream and they could not get her to shush. And she's loud. You can do 2 closed doors between you and her and you can still hear the little booger. Yeah, parrots are loud. They are. Exotic vets are hard to find. This one's kind of sad. But yeah, like you need a vet that not only is an avian vet who sees birds like this, but you need one that sees them regularly and is going to know what's actually going on with them. Not one that took the schooling, but maybe only sees the bird or sees a bird every once a month. You need a vet that has actually seen, birds regularly. And mine is in Denver, Colorado. Am I in Denver, Colorado right now? No. I bounce around, but Denver had an exotic vet that I like, and I kind of bounce through there often enough that we do our checkups with them. But if you're not the type of person that moves a lot, do you have an exotic vet, an avian vet that you're able to drive to that can make appointments for you regularly? Also, avian vets are expensive. Also, birds are prey animals. They don't show you when they're sick until it's too late, until it's really bad. So you need to pay for the best food. You need to be super observant. You need to be making sure that that bird is in the best possible shape, because if they get sick, a lot of the times there's nothing the vet can do. And finally, if all of this sounds obnoxious, but like something you could handle, remember how long they live. BeanDip could live up to 30 years. She's more likely to live 15 to 20, but she could live 30. Those bigger ones, the macaws, there are some species that live 90 years. They're going to outlive you. There are many species that live 40 to 50. And if you don't get them when you're pretty young, they're also going to outlive you. So you are going to have to deal with these behaviors for 50 years. Or you're going to have to will your bird to someone who is able and willing to also deal with some of the behaviors that we've talked about today. You will have negative behaviors. You might be a better trainer than I am. In fact, I don't doubt it. But you're still going to have some negative behaviors. Even if you are an absolutely perfect trainer, your bird might not like other people like BeanDip does. They might not be willing to fly outside, and you're going to have to figure out how you're going to spend time with them. Your lifestyle may be different. Your lifestyle could change over 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And those behaviors might become unbearable. You might have kids that they're willing to bite or crawl into the mouths of to take food. Hopefully you avoid that particular behavior. But yeah, in conclusion, these behaviors might seem kind of obnoxious, but they're real obnoxious if you're going to deal with them for 30 years. And that is why you don't want a bird. just keep watching my channel. Get your fix of something cute. And because the YouTube algorithm gods are very particular, comment, like, subscribe, share. I'm begging. I'm a little tiny channel. If you like this, share it so that other people can also like it so that other people see it. You know, bow to the algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Top of the hill.